Good day, take two with Jerry and Debbie here on EWTN Radio. Nice to have you with us. And it is a Friday, believe it or not, Friday of our second anniversary week, which was yesterday. And we want to thank all of you for your great participation in the second anniversary broadcast. And today we're going to put a topic out there for your discussion on the air, that is. Here's the number, 1-800-585-9396. 1-800-585-9396. You can also text the letters EWTN to the number 55000 with your comment, your question. Just put your name in there and we'll do our best to work it into the program. So here we go, Debbie. Random acts of kindness we're talking about.
Random acts of kindness. And everybody's been thinking about their own behaviors that they do in public to surprise someone with that act of kindness. And we've been getting a lot of examples of it. It's been really very inspiring. And it's a wonderful conversation to have, because what does that mean for us as Catholic Christians? These random acts of kindness really can give hope to someone else. It could really make someone believe again in humanity and the kindness of humanity. And it's just I think this is going to be a great exercise in what we learn about ourselves and our behavior out there in public, and how we represent Christ in a really an anonymous way, which is, I think, sometimes the best way. So call in and share about your encounter, whether you're the recipient or you are the one who likes to bestow random acts of kindness. We want to hear from you. 1-800-585-9396.
Well, there are many occasions in life, probably countless throughout each day, where we could simply do something nice for somebody, a kind act. And they are not always necessarily anonymous, but sometimes they can be. And one of the anonymous ways, an example would be if you're, say you're in a restaurant and you see somebody. I've seen priests, for example. I've been out with a priest.
Yes, yeah.
And this was actually just recently, this February. I was out with a priest, and we were in town to do a Vocation Boom event. And we had a nice meal at a Korean restaurant, and all of a sudden, Father called the waitress over for the check.
Right.
And the waitress said, well, it's been taken care of.
But he didn't know by whom?
We did find out.
How?
Yeah, it was somebody sitting a couple tables over, and they saw that he was wearing his collar, and he was a priest. And so that person just decided, hey, I'm going to do this. And you know what the thing is? Here's the beautiful thing about it. The definition really of random is something that's done without a lot of conscious decision. You know, it's just, and so Debbie, what I think this points to is virtue and character within a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, if we're in union with God and we're on really the lookout for opportunities to be Christ to others, then we're going to take these opportunities to do these acts of kindness for other people.
Yeah, and I like how you said, whether anonymous or not, it just is, it's a matter of how we respond in certain situations. If we feel we want to go that extra mile and help someone else and go out of our way even, or even if we financially kind of stretch to help someone else that we think that could be in need. I think it's wonderful to talk about this. Random acts of kindness. Phone lines are already filling up. That is wonderful. And we're going to get right to the phones, but we want to hear from you. 1-800-585-9396. And I'll tell you what, Mary already came in quickly from California. She's ready to go. See, a lot of people have stories they want to share or examples, and I think it could really help us, especially young people that are listening to Take Two, Jerry, because maybe it'll inspire them to start performing these random acts of kindness.
Yeah, and Debbie and I like to offer personal examples, and I think we always put the disclaimer out there that this is really for the purpose of getting the conversation started. It's not, hey, look at us, how great we are and all that. But we just really, I want to offer one that an act of kindness, I guess you can call it that I did here not too long ago. There was, I was at a stoplight at a rather busy intersection in the city where I live. And this elderly gentleman came up to the crosswalk and pushed the button to get the walk signal. And he either had a cane or a walker or something. And Debbie, he was moving very slowly.
Okay.
And I thought, the minute he tries to cross the street, he's not going to make it.
So he could
in
get
time.
hurt.
Yeah, well, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and cars might just be looking for their next green light, the turn lanes or whatever. So I turned right at that red light, pulled into a business nearby there, and I went over, and thankfully I had time enough to get over, and I stood next to this gentleman.
Oh.
And I
So you
I
kind of
crossed
ushered
the
him.
street with him, not by his side. Didn't take his arm. I let him do
Right, you gave
do
him
his own
space.
thing.
Uh-huh.
But I was just kind of looking both ways, and I just wanted to make sure that it wouldn't have been out of meanness, but somebody might not have known that this gentleman was taking more time than usual to cross the street,
Right.
and they might have taken the next like I say, green light and started to come. So I just wanted to be there to kind of I don't know what I would have done. Maybe gotten hit. I don't know, but
Did he realize it? Like after, did he kind of realize you were
I don't
there?
think he was
Not really cognizant of it?
Well, I think he was elderly and frail and moving so slowly. He was laser focused on getting across the street. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
That was really nice
again,
of you.
yeah, I don't say that to pat myself on the back, but these are the opportunities if we're looking. And I simply pulled up to that stoplight and I surveyed the situation. And immediately I said something really bad could happen here, so I'm going to try to help out.
That was really sweet. I love random acts of kindness. My husband and I actually do look for them as well. And there's a great satisfaction that is derived from random acts of kindness. You just feel very connected to other souls in that immediate moment, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I think even though that man didn't even really recognize what you were doing, Jerry, see, you felt a sense to sort of protect him. And I think that is really beautiful. I think that shows your soul. You were wanting to protect this gentleman. And I think, wow, that's really cool. How about you? What are your examples of random acts of kindness, and how has that really expanded your spiritual growth? I mean, that's what we want to talk about today. 1-800-585-9396. Boy, calls are coming in. We're going to have a lot of calls today, just like we did yesterday on the anniversary show. And we're still getting emails from folks sharing their thoughts about the show. And I'm excited about it, Jerry, because Monday we start Facebook Live, and that's going to be a whole new chapter for Take Two.
All right, 1-800-585-9396. Your random act of kindness could be anything. It could be the neighbor kid in the house next door. His parents are both working, and he wants to go to soccer practice and doesn't have a ride. And you just go ring the doorbell and say, hey, young man, young lady, can I offer you a ride? Or it could be taking a meal to, maybe I know my sister-in-law, every time she has a baby, lots of families bring food over. They don't have to cook for about a month. So if you've done a random act of kindness, let us know about it on Take Two.
Living the Beatitudes with Father Bjorn.
Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. If you're on a football team, you don't want to just run up and down the field holding the ball and never cross into the end zone and get a touchdown. If you're on vacation, you don't want to drive all the way to Orlando and then never enter into the Magic Kingdom. We want to reach our goal, but there are a lot of obstacles, discouragement, and challenges along the way. Jesus' voice is the one calling us to say yes to him, to live the life that he's calling us to live. We have to choose one way or the other, choose him or not. But if we choose him, we will be opposed. We're going to have people challenge what we believe or call us crazy. But Jesus doesn't just say, come follow me, to follow a beatitude. He's calling us to be like himself. He is the Beatitudes. He doesn't just say, do what I say. He says, come follow me. He's with us every step of the way, transforming our weakness into strength. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
Being part of EWTN Media Missionaries is a perfect way to help us fulfill our calling from Christ to make disciples of all nations. Visit EWTNmissionaries.com and join us in sharing the eternal word with the world.
Catherine Zeltner.
There are so many misconceptions when it comes to abortion and assisted suicide. It's really confusing, and I think for a lot of people, they don't know how to talk about these things. EWTN Pro-Life Weekly, we help to change that. We help to really untangle these web of lies. Listeners can expect to become informed and then grow more confident so they can then discuss and dialogue these issues, and together we can really impact culture in that way.
EWTN Pro-Life Weekly, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. on EWTN Radio.
This is Colleen Kelly Mast.
Hello, this is Archbishop Charles J. Chaput, the Archbishop of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
This is Catherine Seltner, host of EWTN Pro-Life Weekly. Thanks for listening to EWTN Radio.
This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and we're so glad you have joined us. And we're talking about random acts of kindness today. That's what we're talking about, and we want to hear from you. So the phone lines are starting to fill up. That's a good sign. If you want to jump in, it's 1-800-585-9396. And we're going to go right to the phone. So Joanne, you're going to be first in Littleton, Colorado. Mary, you're going to be second, so you can stay holding on. Joanne, you're listening on Denver Catholic Radio. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Jerry and Debbie. I love your program. Thank you for making the call.
Thank you.
Sure.
I don't know if this is an act of kindness, but going to church, I go to Mass in the mornings. I see people I've seen forever and never really knew their name, and so I go up to them and I say, "What is your name?" And they tell me, and then I tell them who I am. And we have just had such a connection with so many different people that way, and they always seem so thrilled to know someone they can speak to, and so it's been really a nice, friendly way of greeting people. And another thing is I make rosaries, and I'll hand a rosary to some stranger, Anyway, it's just, that's my act of kindness right now.
I have a question for Joanne. Joanne, when you hand those rosaries, what is the response?
Oh, they're so thrilled to get one, and they can't believe it.
Yeah.
Why are you giving me this?
Mm-hmm. And what do you say? What do you say?
I say, I just want you to have a rosary, and there again is a connection that I've made such good friends through that too, and so it's nice.
Yeah, and Joanne, I think what's beautiful about this is, I'll just speak only for myself, but I think it's a little more broad in the Catholic universe, if you can put it that way, that when we go to church, there's this, there's this right, and there's this proper sense of reverence and silence, of course, in the church. I'm sure you're talking about probably in the vestibule or the parking lot or whatever, but I think we also just tend to think, well, people might want to be left alone, or
right.
Sometimes when I go there, I'm sort of wanting to get into a prayerful mood. But there is a beautiful thing about recognizing people, and I think people are surprised by that. We hear it all the time that in non-Catholic, evangelical churches, they have such incredible hospitality and greeters and all of that. And of course, liturgically, we have the Eucharist, and that's very, very beautiful. Mm-hmm. But I think what you're doing is really helpful, because you might have somebody who's gone to Mass maybe for the first time in a long time and just said, I'm gonna dip my toe in the pool and try this again. It's been a long time, but I really feel today I want to go to Mass. And all of a sudden Joanne comes up to them and greets them, maybe gives them a rosary and a big smile. Joanne, I'm sure you know the difference that can make in somebody's life.
I can really feel it. Especially new people, I love to do this with, because they really don't know anyone. Mm-hmm. And there was some visitors a couple of days ago visiting one of their daughters. They were from California, and they were just so astounded that I came up and talked to them, and we just had a really great conversation, and anyway, that's, I don't know if it's an act of kindness, but it's just something I thought about.
Well,
I think it is.
I think it even goes even a step further. It's an act of kindness, but it's a ministry, Joanne. It's truly, you're doing God's work. And I think, I think that's wonderful. I more power to you. I hope you have many, many more years, and I hope I someday meet you and I get handed a rosary. I would love that. Thank you, Joanne. God bless you.
Bless you. Thanks, Joanne, for the call. We really appreciate that. Random acts of kindness. Have you performed one? Maybe you've been on the receiving end of a random act of kindness from someone. Really kind of caught you off guard, by surprise, but really gave you great joy. Someone who helped you out, gave you a hand up when you were in a difficult situation. Let us talk about this today, and we can all learn and grow. 1-800-585-9396. You know what? We better wait a minute for Mary again. Why don't we go to Jennifer in Cleveland? Jennifer is listening to EWTN Radio on The Rock. So let's go to Jennifer next. Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
Hi, Jennifer in Cleveland.
There we go.
There
now
you
we
go.
got Jennifer.
Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for taking the call. I was calling because one of the random act of kindnesses I did, I was at the grocery store one day, and I got in line, and the woman ahead of me, and she didn't have many items, maybe 6 or 7, and as she pulled out her wallet, she realized she didn't have the money to pay for it, so she walked away, and just without even thinking, I said, "Ma'am, you can go ahead and take those. Let me pay for them," and I paid for her groceries. I don't know who she was. I don't know her name. I never saw her again, but, it was just something I was compelled to do that day.
Well, let me ask you this. I want to tap into that exact moment where you kind of jumped, if you will, and said, "Okay, I want to do something." What was the thought process? What were the feelings associated with that? Because I think that could help others.
Well, the thought process was just that this woman clearly, it seemed like she wasn't buying a lot, so she either lived alone or she just didn't have enough money, didn't have enough money to even buy more for her family or whatnot. And it just, and I just thought to myself that nobody, in this world should have to not be able to eat. And so I just felt that need to do it.
Beautiful. Have you done it before, Jennifer? Was this the first time?
Not that, but I've done other things similar. If I was eating with a friend at a restaurant and they didn't have enough money, I'd give them what they needed. Or one time at a fundraiser, there were the police department was selling hot dogs and chips and all that, and I bought some for some people. So people should be able to eat in this world. There's so much abundance, and yet there are still people that are starving.
I know, that always astonishes me. I just don't understand how that still happens, especially in the United States of America. I just don't get it. But Jennifer, let me ask you this question, just to get a little personal. Did you miss the money that you imparted for these groceries for this lady? Did you miss the money at all?
Not at all. I never even gave it a thought.
See, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. And I think that's what I feel so strongly, Jennifer, that I want our young people who are listening to this show, please be inspired by Jennifer's example of how to just, think beyond yourself and care for another soul that is in need. I love that. Jennifer, your story is amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for taking the call.
Well, and Jennifer, before you go, I just wanted to add, if you heard right at the start of the show, I just kind of tied this into Christian virtue and just a person's character. And you really do sound like somebody who is you're ready. And what I mean by you're ready for that moment when it comes. And that's really important. And I think so many of those moments pass many of us by, myself included. But I'm very, very inspired by the fact that you just seem to be sort of alert to these situations. So I applaud you for that, and I thank you. And I, as Debbie told the last caller, if I'm ever in a restaurant short of money, I hope you're there.
Yeah, right.
Well, if you are, I'll help you out.
Oh, bless you, Jennifer.
All right,
That's
you're
awesome.
welcome.
Thank you. Well, we're talking about how to inspire young kids and the future of our church, of how to really get them to think beyond themselves and their own self realm that they're thinking in. And I think Mary's is going to weigh in with an example of this that I think can really help all our families. Can we go right to Mary? Mary in California, thanks for waiting. You've been so patient. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hi, great to be here. It's my first time calling in. Excited to be on the show.
Welcome.
And I love your topic. I love random acts of kindness. When my kids were little, I have 4 of them, and when they were growing up, and we'd go out to the store, the grocery store, the department store, whatever, I would just at random times yell out, "Random act of kindness." And all the kids at that point knew it was time to go do something nice for somebody else. Usually it was grabbing a shopping cart and dragging it into the store, or if they saw someone carrying groceries out, they'd go off and help carry the groceries out to them, or maybe straighten up a shelf for one of the guys, one of the clerks at the store, to have the shelf nice and neat. They all just kind of were always looking for something that they could do nice to help somebody else out. And it was fun. We had fun doing it.
So you made it kind of like a game, like a challenge.
Yeah,
But Mary,
yeah.
what you sound like such a great mom. What made you think of that?
The Holy Spirit? I don't know. I just
That
always
is
like
awesome.
doing nice things for other people and helping people out, so we would just do it. I think it started one day, we all grabbed shopping carts. I said, hey, let's all grab a shopping cart and bring it in. I said, this is like a random act of kindness. And
Oh, okay. So you really educated them. That is brilliant.
Yeah, and Mary, share for a minute what this did for your kids, because Debbie just made the comment a minute ago, and this is just natural for kids. They see, maybe 12 inches in front of them, and nowadays in their little gadget screens and stuff, but they're not thinking as universally as maybe somebody's a little bit older, a little more mature, but I really believe, it's been my experience in working with young people, that when they do these things, they love it. They get this joy in feeling, hey, I've done something good for somebody else. And I'm wondering how your kids reacted to that.
I definitely saw opportunities where they jumped in, and one of them in particular, my third child, second son, I'll never forget this day. We were wrapping up at the end of the day from the fall festival at church, and we were getting ready to leave. We were getting ready to go in the car. And he saw across the parking lot, pretty big parking lot, all the way across the parking lot, he saw some folks loading tables. And he just all of a sudden stopped, going towards the car, takes off running, and sprints across the parking lot to go help load the tables.
Wow. You're probably wondering what's going on.
I want to leave. Right? I'm thinking, I just want to go home. Why are you running away? And then, you saw his kindness, and my heart's like, oh, all right, Lord.
That is
He's
beautiful.
doing what I taught him. Right.
And your children are grown now, correct?
Yes, yeah. The last one just graduated high school.
Okay, and are they in any type of service ministry still? Are they still? They sound like they still have that servant's heart.
Yes, absolutely. My youngest one, who just graduated, is still a reader in school. The son that ran across the parking lot that day is 19, and he is still an altar server, and will oftentimes serve 2 or 3 masses on a weekend, especially in the summer when people are short, and he eagerly and willingly does it. And the older one, too, is very much, or the older daughter is very much, and the oldest one is gone and away from the house, so I don't see as much of what he is doing. But the 3 that are still at home definitely do what they can to help and serve others. Oh, and they'll randomly go over to aunts and uncles' houses that are alone, that are maybe widowed or widowers at this point, and they'll just, I'm going to go over here and spend time with these people, or, stop in at Grandma's house and Grandpa's house and visit, just to be kind, just to be nice.
That's nice. I'd vote for you for Mom of the Year, I'll tell you.
Well, I failed in many ways, but, I did my best to teach them to be Christ to others.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thanks, Mary, for sharing that with us today. We hope that you have a fantastic rest of the day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thanks, Mary.
And the whole shopping cart thing, this just reminds me, this is one of those this is one of those mental tug of wars for me. All right, here's what I do. When I pull up to a store, I go to Costco or whatever, people leave shopping carts out there. My first thought is I'm going to take one from the parking lot to use for shopping.
I do the same thing.
And I'm sure everybody listening here probably does too, because what you're doing is you're saving that whoever has to come out and collect them all. And where you and I live in the summer, 115 degrees, I mean, the last job on earth I would want would be going out to the parking lot collecting shopping carts.
Well, this is how my mind works, though, Jerry, because where I live in Arizona, it's very hot. And I also think, too, because, they say shopping carts are very unsanitary. So I figure if it's been out in the parking lot, in the sun, it's probably...
Some of the germs have been baked away. Well, here's where my mental tug of war comes in, though, Debbie, is when I come out of the store.
Yes.
And I'm a good distance away from the, where you shove the shopping carts back in, one in the back of the other one.
The little stations,
Yeah, and that dilemma presents itself every time. It's like, do I
kick it up onto the curb?
Yeah, do I put it up onto the median in the parking lot, or do I take it back? And I try and take it back here. I don't do it all the time though. So, and there's nothing wrong with not taking it back, because that's why they hire people to pick them up. But anyway.
We should do a whole topic on that. That would be good. Okay, Janice, you are up we're going to have to take a quick break, though. So, Janice, we'll get to you in just a moment, but I just wanted to share with our listeners real quickly. We're starting to update and revamp and start to put out all the exciting things we've got planned on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, the Jerry and Debbie retreat, all sorts of things. So you can go to jerryanddebbie.com, jerryanddebbie.com. We also have a prayer wall there. We read all the prayers. We have prayer teams praying for all your intentions. So jerryanddebbie.com. We also have Jerry and Debbie Facebook page. Please like us there as well. We've got Twitter and all sorts of things, all the social media platforms. We want to make sure we utilize everything we can possibly do, especially when we start to go to Facebook Live and YouTube, so that you can weigh in, you can keep the conversation going. This is all part of how we want to approach this year on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And it's all because of your suggestions. You drive the show. You really shape the future of Take Two. So thank you so very much. When we come back, we are going to go straight to Janice, who has been waiting so patiently. Hold on, Janice. I know you're driving through the Northeast, but hold on. Drive safely. This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie talking about random acts of kindness.
60 on 10 with Monsignor Charles Pope.
The ninth commandment, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife. We already discussed in the sixth commandment the problems of sexual sins themselves. What the Lord is looking at here is rooted in this word covet. To covet means to inordinately or inappropriately desire something or someone. And in this case, the Lord is saying to us that we are in no way to covet, to look with lust at another person, particularly our neighbor's wife, but others in general. And therefore, all pornography and things have to go. All entertaining of lustful thoughts has to go. And God can help us by His grace to do that. And therefore, in this commandment, He summons us to take authority over our thought life and our sexual passions. The ninth commandment, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic. Top evangelists are gathering July 1st through the 4th for the Convocation of Catholic Leaders, the Joy of the Gospel in America. Under the leadership of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, they will identify solutions to some of the greatest challenges the Church faces today. To learn more about the discussion and what these missionary disciples will bring back to your communities, go to usccb.org/convocation.
For a complete list of the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network AM and FM stations across America, go to EWTN.com. Look for the radio pull-down menu and select AM/FM stations. The list is updated regularly, so visit often. Again, go to EWTN.com. Look for the radio pull-down menu and select AM/FM stations. Also at EWTN.com, you'll find out how to listen to us on the web, on shortwave, and in some countries on satellite. You'll find it all on EWTN.com.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio, and our Patience Award winner, Janice, listening on Sirius XM, driving through the Northeast. Hi, Janice. Welcome to the program. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Thanks for waiting through the break there.
Oh, sure. Thank you for taking my call. I have a friend, Stephanie, we belong to Philly Curcio, and she was having a 50th birthday one time, and she had a huge birthday party, and in all her invitations, she gave everyone a fresh $20 bill.
Wow.
Wow, I want to be friends with Stephanie.
Right. Well, she explained that she wanted us to decide what charity, what goodness, where we thought it was needed, and write back to her what we did with the $20 bill. So everybody was going to donate it in whatever way they thought was best. And also she gave us a list of random acts of kindness. And I have it at home. But she's just a beautiful person, and I won't forget that. And right now she's living with cancer, and so I really wanted to. We've been praying for her, and just like to ask for prayers for her too. She's just a good person. So there was at least $1,000 she gave out for everybody to go to the, charities and help others.
Mm-hmm. And this was during her 50th birthday?
Yeah, she was inviting us to come to her birthday party, and we did go. It was a big party. All her swim club friends, all the Curcio friends. Just she comes from a big family, and she just gave everyone, and we were to report back with what we did with that 20, where it went.
That is beautiful. Would you please let Stephanie know that we added her to our book, our prayer book, so we'll be praying for her?
Yes, I
Absolutely.
will be happy to. Thank you so much. And just one more little tidbit. My daughter taught me how to make rosaries out of twine by design. So I make rosaries, and I just give them away to people who will pray the rosary. So that's my little tidbit.
Well, you know what, Janice, though? You have done an act of kindness for Stephanie here today by mentioning her situation.
Yes.
And asking not just me and Debbie to pray for her, but hopefully, God willing, we have thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people listening. And Janice, I can assure you, the Take Two with Jerry and Debbie family is very, very committed to praying. We have a prayer wall at jerryanddebbie.com, and anytime we put a prayer intention out, in fact, we don't even need to ask. And so I can assure you, a lot of people are praying for Stephanie. Do you? I don't know if you know or can disclose the degree, the stage of her cancer or what kind it is. Anything we can pray for specifically, or do you want to just pray kind of in general?
Well, last I heard, she had to be on liquid diet. So not really. I thought there was a tumor somewhere. So I haven't been in direct contact with her recently, but, I think I'm going to call her now. I'm going to call her now.
See, that's wonderful.
For all the prayers. Thank you.
But see how this works. That's how the Holy Spirit works. The Holy Spirit is moving constantly, and look how by you calling in and sharing that wonderful story about Stephanie, now it's prompting you to call her and check on her, and probably it's providential. It's probably meant to be. Maybe she's needing to hear that call from you, Janice. So, wow, what a wonderful. What a wonderful story.
Yeah, and by the way, Stephanie could listen to the archive of the program.
That's right.
Janice, all of our shows at some point shortly after each live broadcast gets uploaded to take2show.com, take2show.com. So if you wanted to do another act of kindness for Stephanie, you could even point her to that website and just watch for it. Like I said, it'll be up there this afternoon or probably no later than Monday. So.
Yeah, and if Stephanie does go to listen to the archive, Stephanie, we are all praying for you for strength and full healing. So please know that. Please know that.
Thank you ever so much. I so appreciate it.
Thank you,
You're
Janice.
very welcome, Janice. You're a great friend, wonderful woman of God. Thank you for joining us on Take Two. 800-585-9396. Joseph, that's my middle name. We're going to Joseph, listening to EWTN Radio on Redeemer Radio in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hi, Joseph. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hello, Jerry.
How you doing?
Hi, Joseph.
A lot better. I kind of have been struggling lately, and it seems like when we're in struggle and think about self-pity and everything else, we lose touch with the world, and especially it's been a very moving year for me, and I had a strong, well, anyways, I was down on my luck here lately, and this young lady, she's only been 10 years old, noticed me waiting on my meal, well, actually waiting on my drink, I was very thirsty and stuff. And next thing you know, right before they leave, she comes over and sits down and starts talking to me. Very bright, very energetic, very up on her Bible classes. She's from Toledo and came down here. And she just, went to Bible class. And, for this person to have that much energy and joy and try to lighten somebody else's day, because, I definitely wasn't very grumpy. Most people would stay 10 miles away, let alone trying to brighten my day. So it kind of gives you hope in our generation to come when so many people just think of themselves, And when we think of ourselves only, we do lose touch with reality, with hope. I would try to hope for the best, and anyways.
Yeah,
it
but
just,
Joseph.
It got me a day.
Yeah.
You know, it brightened my day, and then before I got out of there, somebody paid for my meal. You know.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So Joseph, I don't see any accident to that. I really believe God is through the acts of those that 10-year-old girl you were talking about who was full of joy, and then the person that paid for your meal. I don't believe that was an accident. I personally believe that was God trying to reach you and to let you know to have hope, to realize that there's more happening with your life and the purpose of your life and your soul than what's going on with you immediately. You said you were down on your luck. Well, here's the great news about that. There's only one way up. Okay? So if you're down right now, really look up, but look up to God and trust in God that was not an accident, and that God is trying to say, I'm here for you, Joseph. I'm never going to let you fall. You can make this. You've just got to hang on, and you've got to have a sense that there's more blessings and more things to come. The problem is a lot of people give up, and that's the problem. They just let go. And they don't let go for the right reasons. They don't let go and fall into God. They let go and fall into the world. And then before you know it, they're spiraling out of control. So you've got to just look up and hang on and focus on God and know that those two encounters were definitely, I believe, God's gift to you, Joseph. Did you feel that way?
Yes, I did. Especially earlier, these 2 hours are very important to me because Father Simon is on our network. And he always lights the day up. And it seemed like, I don't know, sometimes everything you hear is like, I need to hear that, It's just timing. And timing is important because we have to want to turn ourselves around. And then with the help of others, we can do it. And then we get our hope back. We can fight those struggles. And,
Right.
But without Jesus in our lives, Emmanuel, come to say, died for our sins, where would we be,
Joseph, that's a beautiful point, and I just think, I love young people, I love kids and all this. I just think there's a growing disconnect between young people and older people today, and young people get very, very self-absorbed. We talked about this earlier. They have their bubble, their cocoon that they live in, and that's fully understandable. That's human nature. I mean, every age group kind of wants to hang out with their peers and do what their peers are doing and wear the clothes their peers are wearing and all that, but I just feel like even within families, we sometimes see disconnects. Young people don't really want to be with grandma and grandpa and, some of the older relatives and so forth. So I think I just want to commend this little girl, too, this 10-year-old girl, Debbie, for doing this. And whether she was invited by a parent or somebody to go talk to Joseph or she just did it on herself, this shows that within her is this very natural, very comfortable sense of just responding to a situation that she recognizes without really giving it a lot of thought.
Absolutely. Well, she's definitely open to the Spirit, and I think that's beautiful, and that's how children can be if we allow them to really be how God created all of us to be, the children, open and pure and innocent and willing to really help another soul. Joseph, great example, great story. Please check in with us from time to time. We'll be praying for you that many, many blessings flow, and that's what we're going to pray for because we know God is abundant in blessings. So thank you so much, Joseph. God bless you.
Great to hear from you, Joseph. And everybody listen to this. You get, it's EWTN has a service called Church Pop, P-O-P. And it's funny, it's witty, there's some serious stuff. It's like this aggregate news thing that comes out. It's a website, but they send out an email. You can subscribe and get it sent to your inbox and click on there and go and, like I say, read stories that are a little bit lighter. There's some, obviously serious news stuff on there. They have quizzes and games and photos and videos, and it's all about the faith. So once again, EWTN hits a home run with Church Pop. So just go to churchpop.com churchpop.com and
I've
sign
learned
up.
so much from Church Pop. I have to tell you, I've learned so much. So I just love it. How do you get to it again? Church Pop.
Churchpop.com.
That's so
Yep.
easy. Churchpop.com. Okay, Mercedes, you have also been waiting patiently. I think you're going to share that Virtual Patience Award today in Orange County, California, listening on Sirius XM 130. Welcome, Mercedes, to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I wanted to tell you just this thing that I did that I basically feel that the Holy Spirit helped me. There's a little boy that is in the same class as my son, who both have special needs in elementary school. And I got to know the mother, and she actually has 3 kids. 2 of them have special needs, and then one, she's just a typical daughter. She has twins, and then the 12-year-old who's friends with my son who's 12 years old. And so we've kind of gotten friendly. We would exercise. We got into a Bible study, started opening up the Bible. And then one Friday, she didn't sound right, and for some reason, something was telling me, why don't you just make extra food and then go to her house? Seriously, it was just so clear. And then, so I remember I was making meatballs and gravy. My kids love it, so I just made extra. And I had to go somewhere after, so I went down there and dropped it off. And I was just so shocked of what I saw. They basically, in a nutshell, they were living in squalor. There was like, you couldn't even get, there was like pathways. There was like junk 4 feet high. And I was trying to be very calm, and I'm very sensitive to odors, but I was trying to be very calm. And she asked me, do you want to come upstairs? And I did not want to go upstairs, but I said, okay, I'll go upstairs. And it was just like junk piled, like soiled beds, just like beds like blocking the door, And she asked me, she looked at me and she said, Mercedes, do you think you can get me organized? And I was trying to remain calm, and I just said, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm going to need 50 people to organize her. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll be happy to. So, anyways, I got 50 people. I emailed my prayer groups, and then the church. I talked to our father and, my husband. And we got so many donations. They got all new beds, not new beds, but gently donated beds for the twins. They have twins, and so we got twins. Someone donated bunk beds, new living room furniture. We got new carpet. Their carpet was so black. It was just, never seen anything like that, and the kids are like in kindergarten. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. And it was interesting because I did get some negative feedback from some people and said, oh, they're just going to go back to their usual way, or, they wanted me to report them. Some people wanted me to report them. And so my husband was so patient and such a rock. He just said, you know what, Mercedes, ignore them. And we just went about our way and helped them. And I still check in with her because she doesn't have she's like a single mom.
And she's doing well, Mercedes?
Yeah, she's doing well. She's still kind of in a dysfunctional place.
Right.
But she has to make it work because that's how she's surviving,
Right.
And so it's just been very amazing. I would never do this before, but I just started taking Bible study, and I think that has something to do with it. I'm just very open now. I'm not, before I used to be so judgmental, and I'm just trying to be more open now. And so, so I just wanted to share that with you.
Oh, well, Mercedes, I see so many of the handprints of God on this, because you look at, you just said you're doing Bible study and you want to be more open, so you're being open. You have this prompting by the Spirit that you sense that something was wrong with this lady, and then you decide to make a meal. So you're being open to it. So you're already giving forth that willingness to respond in a positive way, and then God takes you on a twist and a turn to say, okay, Mercedes, let's see how open you are. Let's stretch. And Okay, right? And so because
right.
you're standing there, and this lady asks you for some assistance, and you're putting that pickle, if you will, saying, "Wow, what do I do? I mean, this is going to take 50 people," and you were describing how maybe the smell and the visual things were getting to you, which is understandable. But God was saying, "Okay, Mercedes, let's see how much you're going to stretch." You stretched, and look what happened. Look what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that is so God, how God works.
I know. It's been such an interesting journey for me. And so, part of my life is I'm trying to help those people that have special needs kids. My husband and I, we're in a very fortunate situation. We've been married for over 21 years, and we're both pharmacists, so we have been very blessed with a really good career. So, I just want to give back and to help, so it's been a blessing. It's been good. And so, she's doing well, and we check in with her, and but she has her challenges, and I just keep on telling her to direct her to keep praying to God, and she does. She does. Someone donated like a picture of Mother Mary, and so that gives her some confidence.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, Mercedes, what I'm reminded of as you're talking and you've been sharing this is Matthew 25. I'm sure you know the passage where Jesus says, whenever you gave food to the hungry or drink to the thirsty or whatever, you did it unto me. And so really in stretching you, as Debbie was just talking about, Jesus was in a sense saying to you, Mercedes, how far are you willing to go to minister to me through this individual who is my image before you. And you stepped up, you did it. You did what Jesus was asking you to do. It was uncomfortable, it was difficult, but that's how we grow. That's how we grow in our virtue and holiness. So I applaud you for that.
Me
and,
too.
Yeah,
Me too, Mercedes.
Thank you.
And I hope you make a good meatballs and gravy. It was.
I know.
Is it a special sauce or a jar sauce? Be honest.
No, I just kind of mix. I just make sauce. I make with mushroom soup and.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
I love that.
My boys love it.
I would love it too, Mercedes. I'm easy to please. Well, God bless you. Thank you for all you do. That is a beautiful call, and we were all very much changed by your example of this beautiful random act of kindness. That really you enlisted 50 other people, which I think is just magnificent. Thank you, Mercedes. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too.
All right, good to have you on the program. Deacon in North Dakota, hang on. You are going to be right after Linda. Linda listening to EWTN Radio on Redeemer Radio in Fort Wayne. We go back to the epicenter. Hi, Linda. Welcome.
You guys hit a chord with me. I've never called in any radio station before.
Well, we're so glad you did.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good ideas that I've learned from listening to it. And I'm an educator, so I've had a service group all my career. And it started because my father took me to the soup kitchen where he worked, and I would work there. And so then I brought my students there, and we built things and fixed things and served food. And over the years, we've done pretty much everything that's been mentioned so far on your radio program, we've done. We've helped, last summer we did the tornado because we had tornado here. And so we help the tornado victims, and we do fundraisers because we have Christmas families. And every year, however much we can raise with our fundraisers, we give $500 to a needy family in the community. But what struck me is, like tonight, we've got a job that we have to do where we could potentially make $350, which to us is awesome because $500 for a family. We've put in hot water heaters and paid bills that have been in arrears for months and food drives and clothing drives and blah, blah, blah. And because it's a passion for me, and my husband doesn't understand this, but it is a passion because God wants us to do this. We need to be available to help each other. And the reason I have problems with my husband in doing this, he's going to help me tonight because I cannot get volunteers to come and help. And I'm going to be wearing supports on my knees, and I'm going to be standing the entire time for several hours, and it's going to hurt. But these kids have so much energy, they can do it. But if I cannot get them there, then they cannot donate that part of them that they're supposed to be donating to the world to help others. Everybody's got their own special gift, and you know, not only that, but $350 to somebody else is nothing. But to us, and my husband last night said, you know, it would be easier just to pay the money and not do the fundraising, not hurt your knees more, and blah blah blah. And it's the truth, and that's what I used to do. I used to just quietly donate to the office and say, okay, whoever, whatever, and to the church, you know, and
Right,
same thing.
right.
You tell me who needs it, and I'll just give it to them. But we really do not have the money to do that, but some people do. And so I guess what I want to say is, first of all, if you have children, I love that idea that Mary, I think it was, said about random acts of kindness. I'd love to do that. I think I got to remember to do that with my grandchildren. But we all need to be teaching each other that we have a special gift. Whatever that gift is, it needs to be shared for each other. The Holy Spirit has done several things.
Right. But Linda, real quickly, only because we're running out of time, what you're saying, and I don't mean to cut you off, but you're just saying so much. I just want to comment real quickly. It's sometimes it is hard to enlist others to volunteer for things that are just beautifully done in service and are so Christ-like. The more you can express, Linda, what it means to you to give of that service, to do that hard work in order to fundraise and make that money, the more you can impart those stories of how it's changed you, the more others will jump in. Because people respond to other people, and they respond to other people's journey. It's not so much sometimes for the cause, it's to other people. But I have a strong sense, though, that this particular fundraiser is really meant for you and your husband to do it. There's a reason why your husband stepped up. There's a reason why your husband is kind of maybe almost a little bit forced to help because there's not enough volunteers. Maybe it's for your husband. You never know. God works in mysterious ways, and I applaud you for the work that you're doing. Keep it up. We're going to pray that an abundance of volunteers come flooded your way. That's what I'm going to pray for, Linda. And God bless you for picking our show, for calling in. We're glad it did strike a chord, and I hope in a great way for just to you to have the hope that volunteers will come.
All right, thank you, Linda. We're going to get over to Deacon in North Dakota, who has us on Real Presence Radio. Hello, Deacon. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. How are you?
I'm doing just great. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
It's interesting as I'm traveling here today, but it's so interesting to hear all the different people and what has happened to them. And there's been a time in my life where my family, were struggling financially. And on occasions, other parishioners would come up and hand us money and say, just pay it forward. So over the years, we have done that. But along with that, we try to find a family or maybe an unwed mother or something every month and also give them some money. And I'm not trying to brag about what I'm doing. What I'm trying to get to is the fact that I see my kids doing the same thing, buying computers for cancer kids in the hospitals to other things. Just one thing leads to another, and it's a Holy Spirit thing that happens to us when we do these things. But
Deacon, forgive me. I've just got to jump in. We're going to hear the closing music here in about 2 seconds. But beautiful, beautiful witness about paying it forward. And we got an email, too, Deacon, you'll appreciate, and Debbie, from Heidi, also in North Dakota. And she has a brother-in-law battling leukemia, and they've been trying to help out. They got 4 kids under 8. And one day they found an anonymous letter in the mail, and it said, you have so many people who love you and are praying for you, and it had $300 in it.
Oh.
And she says her brother and sister-in-law got a similar note the same day in the same handwriting. So, Deacon, great point there. Steve and Joan and the others.
We're sorry.
Wish we were going to have time.
This goes so fast.
We could do Take Two all day. You guys are great.
We could have a marathon Take Two. Monday's show is about what are you afraid of, and you'll be seeing us Facebook Live. Until then, have a beautiful and blessed weekend. We'll see you real soon.